The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I am Mon Gualvez. Passenger cargo vessel MV Esperanza Star catches fire at sea off Panglao in Bohol. For more details, Anthony Damalerio is now joining us live over the phone. He is the head of Bohol Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office. Good afternoon, sir. Kumusta po ang firefighting and rescue operations?
Yes, good afternoon, Sir Mon. And all passengers po, 72 passengers and 60 crew members all accounted for. But the latest report from Philippine Coast Guard Bohol Station, ongoing pa po yung investigation nila as to the cause of fire. But at 10 a.m. this morning, fire control na po, and latest news from the co-shipping company, ang may-ari ng vessel, they're arranging for the next available trip to Cebu para may transport yung affected passengers. Wala naman pong major physical emergency po, no? Walang dinala sa hospital. Minor complaints lang po of tumaas yung BP, nahirapan yung ibang passengers, but minor complaints lang po. All accounted 72 passengers and 60 crew members, including the ship captain.
Opo, ito po ay base na po sa lahat ng mga nasa manifesto, sir. Ibig sabihin, wala na pong nawawala o nawala doon sa barko, no, nung kasagsagan po ng sunog. At saka yung mga minor injuries, sir, do you have a figure on how many? Lahat po ng mga minor complaints as you're mentioning a while back.
Yes, we would like to confirm, sir, all accounted for. Walang missing, walang casualty. May mga bata rin, no. About of the 72 passengers, I think 7 or 8 are minor. The youngest, sir, is a 1-week-old baby boy. All rescued and accounted, and they were given assistance by the shipping company as early as this morning. Binigyan ng breakfast, tubig, even dry clothing po, all supplied by the shipping company. Ongoing pa po yung investigation, sir, ng Philippine Coast Guard. They're asking us for siguro as early as tomorrow to finalize the report. But as to minor complaints, sir, walang dinala po sa hospital. Yung ginaw lang, sobrang ginaw kasi it was early morning. The distress call was at 3:55 a.m. and the expected time of arrival of the vessel was 4:30 a.m. Per Philippine Coast Guard information, about 2 nautical miles na lang away from Tagbilaran Seaport. So malapit na, sir. Even the crew members were already preparing for docking maneuvers for arrival. First responders were fishing boats surrounding the area. May isang vessel din, Trans-Asia, passenger vessel na nag-rescue din, and the Philippine Coast Guard rescue boats.
I understand the shipping company has already exerted effort, pero ano pong assistance naman na provide ng LGU sa mga biktima, sir?
Well, yung provincial administrator namin through Governor Aris has instructed our Provincial Social Welfare Development Office to be at the site. All passengers this morning were billeted at the second floor of the new terminal building of Tagbilaran Port. But per passengers, mostly, sir, from Bohol, and they wanted to go home, no? Family members and relatives na sumusundo sa kanila were very eager and willing to pick them up. So much as the provincial government was willing to provide assistance, most of the passengers were willing to be sent home na po, Sir Mon.
Opo. Sir, I know you're mentioning that talagang ongoing pa po yung investigation, pero baka lang po may leads na po tayo sa kung anong maaaring naging sanhi po nung apoy based on the statements of the survivors.
I talked to one of the crew members na inside sa engine room. There were initial reports na nagsimula yung apoy sa loob ng engine room, but the personnel of the MV Esperanza Star inside the engine room, may final statement siya na hindi nanggaling sa engine room. Parang it's in the hallway, sir, hallway entrance going to the engine room. But again, we're still leaving that up to Philippine Coast Guard to submit the report po.
On that note, thank you. We will continuously monitor about the development of the story. That was Anthony Damalerio, head of Bohol PDRRMO. The Philippine Coast Guard says it will continue to monitor the oil spill in Oriental Mindoro. Spokesperson Armand Balilo said 2 vessels will remain in the area to monitor potential new oil leaks. On Saturday, the PCG confirmed that oil recovery efforts in MT Princess Empress have been completed. Only oil drips from the cargo piping lines were observed, which were already deemed unsuckable. The vessel was carrying about 800,000 liters of industrial fuel when it sank off the coast of Nauhan in February.
Pinakita ho sa amin na wala nang laman yung mga tangke. So parang dineclare na nilang completed na po yung oil spill recovery. Wala na pong oil doon sa 8 tangkeng inaakala na meron pang tatagas. Maliban na lang po doon sa mga pipes na may mga drips na pakonti-konti at ang sabi po ng mga salvage operator ay unsakable na po.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I am Mon Gualvez. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken arrives in China amid frosty bilateral ties of the two countries. Blinken is expected to meet with China's top diplomats and possibly President Xi Jinping during his 2-day visit. He earlier said that the U.S. would speak candidly about, quote, very real concerns on a range of issues. Blinken's visit to Beijing in February was cancelled after a suspected Chinese spy balloon flew over the U.S. airspace. He is the first highest-ranking U.S. official to visit China since President Joe Biden took office in 2021.
The trip has 3 objectives. First, to establish open and empowered communications. Second, to advance U.S. interests and values and those we share with allies and partners around the world. And third, to explore the potential for cooperation on transnational challenges, global economic stability, illicit synthetic drugs, climate, global health, where our country's interests intersect and the rest of the world expects us to cooperate.
Let's now take a quick look at other stories we're watching. PHIVOLCS logs 3 volcanic earthquakes and at least 274 rockfall events at Mayon since yesterday until 5 a.m. today. Lava also continued to ooze out from the volcano's crater. The National Water Resources Board may need to limit again the water allocation for concessionaires from Angat Dam. This as insufficient rainfall threatens the water supply at the reservoir. And Carlos Yulo bags another gold in the floor exercises at the Artistic Gymnastics Asian Championship in Singapore. The world champ is looking to add more medals later today. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 4:30 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I am Mon Gualvez. We are One News.